Kristi Noem is the story today. She is the governor so many of us have admired from South Dakota. Let's be totally fair to Kristi Noem before I go into what happened. Kristi Noem is the dime of a governor in South Dakota who was on the money when it came to coronavirus. The rest of the country passing coronavirus lockdowns and panic, and you have to do this and you have to do that. To her credit, this woman stood strong. I want to be clear about that. To her credit, this woman stood strong, said, we're not going to do this. We're not going to wreck South Dakota for this. And she, because of that, put herself in prime contention to potentially be the next Republican for president if she wants. I don't even know if she wants that. I don't have any information on that. However, legislation just passed and got sent to her desk in South Dakota, strict legislation banning all this transgender in women's sports nonsense. And I mean all of it, absolutely all of it. Grade school, high school, college. Kristi Noem has this thing sitting on her desk and has publicly made it known she doesn't want to sign it now. She wants some edits made. She wants some things adjusted on it. I need every Republican leader to hear me now before I go into this Kristi Noem thing. There is not a list of positions you have to take on taxes, abortion, Second Amendment, whatever. There's not a checklist you have to have in order to be the next leader of the right. There's not. There used to be, there's not. There's one thing you need now. People on the right are desperate. People on the right feel like their entire culture has been ripped away from them and reshaped into something that horrifies them. There is one thing on that checklist. You are either going to stand up to these leftist, disgusting cultural Marxist hordes who are ripping this country apart, or you can't lead it. There's not a second thing. There's not a, but what about this? Or, hey, I passed tax cuts. Or, look, I'm really pro-life. There's not a second thing. And that's not me personally saying that. I'm telling you, that's the mood on the right. You stand up against these hordes or you can't lead. You simply cannot do it. What happened here is quite simple. We know there's a Chamber of Commerce influence in Kristi Noem's office. We know Amazon, they had a big plant there. I believe it was 1,000 people already making threats to leave. We know the NCAA saying, we'll pull out of here. We won't put this tournament here. We won't put this tournament there. And so what we actually know is this. Kristi Noem's phone started ringing off the hook with people, important people, telling her, don't do it. If you do it, we'll leave. This is Bill over in this city. If you do it, they're going to pull the tournament out of this town. We lose $1 million. This is John with Amazon. I'm taking these 1,000 employees with me. This is Bob. I'm your big campaign donor, but I'm a big South Dakota University alum. If my university pulls out, you'll never have another fundraiser. And I know what happens because I've seen it before. You get enough of these people whispering in your ear, and soon you think to yourself, I can't do it. I can't do it. Well, let me tell you something. This isn't about Kristi Noem. This is about you, and this is about me. When I talk about the system, when I talk about these dirty scumbag communists owning every single cultural part of our society now, I mean it, and they do. You and I are now the counterculture. You and I are now the rebels. And that's actually the good news, because that can be a whole lot of fun. But, and this is a big, big, big but, here's something we have to accept. This is an ideological war for the future of the United States of America. And in any ideological war, and real war, but ideological war, there are casualties. Casualties. The system is called the system because they own it all. They own the media, the education department. They own almost all the big corporations now. They own the entire Democratic Party, half the Republican Party. They own your church. They own the military. They own the FBI. They have it all. What I'm saying to you is this. If we, on the right, are going to blink every time the system says it's going to hurt us, we have no chance of winning. None whatsoever. We are going to take casualties in this. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.